Hi, my name is Argelia Atilano. I am a radio broadcaster based out of Los Angeles. You can hear my show Monday through Friday from 5 to 10 a.m. El show de María Argelia on K-Love 107.5 FM. To be a first-generation student was a huge honor. Because I had found out through the research in my family that nobody on my dad's side and on my mom's side had graduated from high school, let alone from a university. So I always wonder why that was. And, obviously after learning from my family's history, the fact that my parents had to, work to make ends meet, and the fact that they fell in love too young, as teenagers, and fell in love and married when they were 18 and 20. Well, they started raising a family a little bit too young, but then again, that was like normal back then. Fast forward, my parents, my dad was always working, and, and I always saw him coming in and out. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. But interestingly enough, I never wanted both. I never wanted to go in and out all the time, where he would work these really strange hours at night and my mom was always at home. And I didn't want that either. I'm like, I don't want to be home all day, but I also don't want to be working these rough graveyard shifts. So at a very young age, I determined and found out that the only way to avoid those two paths was studying. So my parents separated when I was around 8, and that's when things started to get difficult, in the sense that my mom decided to move us to Mexico so that we could live there with grandma for a while. And we were there in Mexico for 2 years, came back, and then we jumped around from Bell Gardens to Pomona, from Pomona to East LA. So we couldn't really find our home because we didn't have a home. So luckily my mom had family members that would give us shelter, but it was always, temporary. So that messes with the young teenagers, focus and passion, because no matter how much we want to dedicate ourselves to studies, you're always worried about, where are we going to move now? Now, where am I going to sleep? Now, where am I now? Why do we have to pack again? And why do I have to start registration at a new school, and start friends all over again, meet new teachers and get acquainted and build a relationship? All those little things put a kid behind. I definitely thought I was behind. I always like to think that I would have gotten further in life, or at least in my education, had I always had a stable education path since elementary. But the fact that we moved around so much, I always felt that I always had to start all over again. Thanks to these clubs that I joined, like CSF, and the fact that I surrounded myself with students from the AP programs, the talk was college all the time. The talk was always, where are you going? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do, in 10 years from now? So we were always talking about our future. So I think that I was being surrounded by these students that were so focused and determined. It only reinforced my passion of furthering my education. So when I heard about career day, I was there on a Saturday morning trying to find out about different careers. When I heard about college fair day on a Sunday morning on campus, I was there. I want to know about colleges. So every opportunity that I took that Garfield presented, which they do a wonderful job with presenting students with options in colleges, I was there. So it was a combination of great teachers like Mr. Westner from my AP history class, making me see and believe that I was capable of being accepted to not one university, but to many universities. And it was my peers. The fact that I surrounded myself with strong and intelligent students is what rubbed on me and said, I want to be like them. I too will go to college and be the first one. The majority of my friends at Garfield were first generation. So maybe that's also the reason why we stuck together to this one dream of breaking the mold and breaking that barrier and making history. in our very small world, which is, you know, in our household. As I was studying pre-law and discovering that it wasn't for me, I knew one thing. I knew that I couldn't continue wasting my time and energy on something that I wasn't going to dedicate the rest of my life to. So I stopped studying pre-law and decided to take care of all my core classes to get them out of the way. And I had one elective, and it was in that elective that I discovered my true calling, because for that one elective, I didn't know what to take. And so my roommate said, why don't you consider taking journalism for fun? Because she was studying journalism. So I said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. So I had no other choice. Everything else was taken. So I took Journalism 101 as an elective. And who would have thought that in that elective class, I would discover, you know, a new world. It was in this class that I found that writing stories, telling people stories, talking to people to find out their stories was an amazing process for me. And I truly enjoyed it. The Argelia Atilano Scholarship Foundation was born in relation and with Loyola Marymount. So I'm very proud of this, because what it is that I look for young aspiring Latinas that also want to go and pursue their education, but specifically coming from Garfield High School, because I know how difficult it is for Latinas in this community to get noticed, and with so much competitiveness out there, the scholarships are very limited and scarce. So I'm very specific. My foundation caters to Garfieldians, women aspiring to go to Loyola Marymount University. So that's how I unite both my alma maters, helping Garfieldians, helping Latinas transition into Loyola Marymount with the financial help from my foundation. I always said that my high school years were amazing and they are fun, but college is a different level of funness. This is where you are going to find your true identity. This is where you're going to really miss and value what you probably didn't like at home. Like, I was so tired of listening to my mom's music all the time every Saturday morning. Well, guess what? It was at LMU where I was missing my mom's music, and where all of a sudden I wanted to play that music over and over again. All of a sudden, the chile rellenos I hated from my mom, now I was missing them more than ever, and now it is literally my #1 plate from my mom. So it's so funny, but college is gonna open your eyes and it's gonna open your heart more in a way where you're gonna appreciate your culture and your house rules and your house way of living. But my advice is, it's okay to be scared, but don't let that scare you away from your path. Stay on course, study, focus on your books, but you need to have fun. You need to make college a fun experience. And travel. That's one thing I always tell the students. Part of the amazing experience for me is that I hadn't traveled in my life ever before besides the same town, San Juan de los Lagos, but I wanted to see the world. And it wasn't until I got to college where I said, this is it. So every summer, try to sign up for if you can travel, try to sign up for an experience overseas and study abroad. Best experience ever. I mean, you think you learn on campus, but you learn more when you're traveling out and see the world.